All right, you could go ahead and start number 3. It's going to start out the same way as the others. Notice we have a negative angle measure, so we're going to start by adding 360 degrees, and we get 15. So we're looking for the tangent of 15 degrees. The next step is to find two angles on the unit circle that will either add or subtract to equal that angle. Okay, so for 15, we could subtract 45 from 60. Or we could also subtract 30 from 45. Okay, we're going to choose wisely for tangent. We're going to choose wisely. So remember those values for tangent on the unit circle. We are going to try to avoid using 30 degrees because that's just going to make it a little more complicated with a fraction. So let's try to avoid 30. So let's use the option 60 minus 45. So 60, we're going to plug in for A. 45, we're going to plug in for B. We are subtracting on this one, and the subtraction sign is on the bottom. So that means over here in the numerator, we're going to subtract. We have a minus sign on the bottom. And in the denominator, we're going to add since the plus sign is on the bottom. Okay, when you plug in the angle, you are plugging in 45, not negative 45. Okay, the subtraction sign right here determines which signs to use there. All right, so we're starting out right here with tangent of 60 degrees minus tangent of 45. That's going to be divided by 1 plus the product of tangent 60 and tangent of 45. Okay, we're going to go ahead and plug in the values. The tangent of 60 is square root of 3, and the tangent of 45 is 1. Again, this will be the square root of 3 times 1. And notice we are going to have to rationalize this denominator. Okay, so to simplify this, we don't want to have a radical in the denominator. We're going to rationalize, which means we need to multiply by the conjugate. 1 plus the square root of 3. We just take the opposite sign of the radical. And then we do a bunch of distributing. So in the numerator, first we're going to distribute square root of 3. Square root of 3 times 1, and square root of 3 times square root of 3. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9, which is just 3. Next, we're going to distribute the negative 1. Negative 1 times 1. Negative 1 times the square root of 3. Okay, I can already see that these two terms add up to 0. And 3 minus 1 is going to give us 2. All right, let's look at the bottom. We're going to distribute the 1. 1 times 1. 1 times square root of 3. And then distribute negative square root of 3. And that gives us negative square root of 3 minus square root of 3 times square root of 3, which is just 3. But it was a negative times a positive, so it's negative. Okay, so these terms right here are also going to cancel. You'll notice this always happens when you multiply by the conjugate. Those two inner terms cancel. Okay, so if we keep going, now we have a 2 divided by 1 minus 3. I think I made a mistake somewhere, you guys. Let me go back. I don't remember these canceling before. Square root of 3 and negative square root of 3. Oh, you guys, I made another mistake. Okay, back here. This is a plus sign. So this should be a plus sign, not a minus sign, which means this is a plus sign here. So the conjugate is 1 minus the square root of 3. Let me fix this. Okay, so when we multiply, this will be positive. And let's see, positive square root of 3 minus 3. This will be a minus 3. And then we get a minus 1 and a plus square root of 3 right here. And so those don't cancel in red right here. Okay, the denominator looks good. That's good. That's going to stay the same. Okay, so on the top, we're going to combine like terms. Square root of 3 and square root of 3 is the square root of 2. Rather than canceling these, we combine them. So that's 2 square root of 3 minus 4. And then we have a negative 2 on the bottom. We can divide both terms by negative 2. So we get negative square root of 3 plus 2, which is the answer, or you can write it as 2 minus the square root of 3. Let's definitely check this. So if we put the tangent of negative 345 in our calculator, that is approximately 0.27. And 2 minus the square root of 3, our answer is also approximately 0.27. All right. There is one more example, and it's a little bit different. So now you have learned how you can use these identities to find trig values that aren't on the unit circle. So remember, you're looking for a pair of angles that you can either add or subtract to get that angle that you need. And then you plug in the angles and you simplify those values using the unit circle.